Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your visioning salad of life and boring news, folks. It's our job to give you some interesting tidbits in the world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long or show podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we've got topics in those three fields: sports, entertainment, and odd news to get to. But before we get to those segments, we'd like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to. So, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
I'm doing pretty good. Been catching up on some games, video games, playing the new Astrobot game, which is a fantastic, just kind of love letter to all things PlayStation. It's just got so many little Easter eggs and collectibles. And not only that, it strikes that perfect balance between fun, challenge, creativity, and just like the overall like technical aspects of it, like the visuals, the sound, the way it uses the controller, just all of it top notch. So I've really been enjoying that. But the big news is that I went to my first Rage Room this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you need that after following Philadelphia sports.
Oh, absolutely. So I made the mistake of going before the game, which we'll get to.
There we go. We were able to hide a microphone in there. Did you know that?
That was actual. I don't know how you got that mic in there, but yeah. That's pretty accurate, honestly.
We actually have the audio from the day.
So
did you know that we had a microphone playing it right in there?
I don't know how you hid that in there, but that was a pretty good job you did.
There you go.
Tucked it in there.
Yeah.
Now you fucked up.
There you go. Did you realize you said that?
You just get lost. You get caught up in the moment.
I've got balls of steel.
And you're very confident.
You're having far too much fun with the soundboard.
You're very confident.
Very confident.
Yes.
You have to be confident going into a Rage Room, though. I don't know if you've ever been in one, but I don't know if I was fully prepared for the amount of destruction. Like, have you ever smashed something just like total, like, no, like not holding anything back, just like completely just went crazy and smashed something?
Right. I don't think I really have.
Yeah, it's not something people do.
This is appropriate we talk about this because we've had odd news stories where people go insanely angry.
Yeah.
And we're both like, I think we both have the same like feeling. Is like, I don't think we've ever gotten that mad at something so specific to unleash an outburst like something we would have in the odd news or to break a glass.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But there's always like that thought in the back of my head, like what would happen if I just took this like drinking glass and just flung it at the wall as hard as I could. And that's what a Rage Room lets you do. So just to start off, it's just like this small, it must have been like a 10 by 10 room. Like it was small, probably even smaller than that. And the one entire wall was like, I guess some kind of like cork material. And there was a single barrel in the middle and just a heaping mound of glass and debris from all the other people who had been smashing. They just push it to the back of the room. And they give you like one of those milk crates filled with china and wine bottles and plates and just whatever. And they give you a baseball bat. They give you all the protective gear, which is so incredibly hot. You have goggles. Then you have a face shield. Then they have you put on one of those like zip up Tyvek suits. You know,
well, I mean, yeah, they can't have a risk of, glass flying.
Right, exactly. And glass really was flying. So, man, I just lined up.
There you go. More audio.
If you've never smashed something like that before, the baseball bat, I mean, like, I put up like 3 or 4 wine bottles and just full on, like, I was swinging for the fences. And it just, like, erupts in this crazy explosion shower of glass. Like I had chunks flying and hitting me in the face. Like it was wild. Strongly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. It goes by super fast. I went through all of my breakables in 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, that sounds like you could drown some money in that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely only a once in a while thing. But I was just laughing the whole time. Like I felt like I wasn't rageful enough. Because, like, the first time you smash something, you're like, that was, like, I'm just, like, smiling like an idiot, Less rage than, like, this is, I don't know, fun. It's cathartic to like be able to
They
do
should
that.
be playing like heavy metal
They
music.
do. They
okay,
do.
Good.
They said like think of a song you want to play, but like I was so distracted by just sweating bullets in this suit. Like I was literally like the goggles were like filling up with water. It was like it was so hot in there. So I forgot to tell them what to play. They just played some random like angry sounding rock and rap and yeah.
Okay.
So
there you go.
It was a blast. So you got to try it out. We went to it's in Westchester. All That Rage. So
all right.
It was a good time.
Instead of All That Jazz. If you like jazz, you go to All That Jazz.
This is the
if you like
this is the angry version.
if you like rock and heavy metal, you gotta go to All That Rage.
Exactly. So that was a lot of fun. That's what I was getting up to before the Eagles game. But what did you do this weekend?
All right, I had a lot of things I actually did this
Oh,
weekend.
yeah?
It was crazy. So first off, if you're watching the video feed, I got a new Eagles jersey.
Very nice, rocking the Kelsey.
Yeah. It was funny. I was going through like some of my things, and I found I had a Dick's Sporting Goods gift card,
Oh, nice.
and I was like, well, the weather's going to start getting colder, so I can't really use it for golf. I mean, at this point, golf is pretty much
Yeah.
the clubs are in the storage.
Right.
At this point. So I was like, what else can I get at Dick's Sporting Goods? I was like, I haven't gotten myself a jersey in a while.
There you go.
But then, like, I did the same thing I think you and Bruno do, is like, I don't want to get like a current player.
No, you can't risk it.
Right. It feels like you're putting bad mojo on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, not going to do current players,
Right.
but I still want somebody that's, recent, but somebody that's iconic.
Right.
And like the first thing caught to me, I was like, all right, Jason Kelsey. That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to search like who's still selling a Jason Kelsey jersey, because most of them they stopped making them.
Yeah.
So I just by the the luck of football gods, there was one left in the King of Prussia Mall, and guess who has it?
Nice.
Yeah. So I blew my gift cards and
There you go.
got myself a new Eagles jersey.
That's a good purchase though.
Yeah.
Like I like a good jersey.
And doubly so with Kelsey coming out against the 76ers stadium. So double props to Kelsey for speaking common sense to the 76 arena.
They're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about that when it gets approved by
the time comes.
No,
yeah.
we're probably gonna talk about it when the city council approves it.
Yeah.
There you go. You want to catch future episodes of the Crispy Noodle podcast? Wait till you hear our reaction when the city council approves that godforsaken 76 arena in Chinatown.
Oh man.
That's only a matter of time. So that'll be coming down the pike. Make sure you stay tuned for that episode of the Crispy Noodle podcast. So did that. Then second thing I want to mention is I took our advice from last week's episode and I watched Baby Reindeer.
Oh yeah.
From
How was
the
that?
Emmys. Wow, that is an interesting docudrama, I guess is what it is. I guess it's a self-docudrama.
Is it an
'Cause-
actual documentary or is it just shot like a documentary?
Well, no, it's the lead actor, he actually went through everything.
Oh, okay. So it's like a dramatic retelling of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he gives like his own like first person thoughts and like what he was going through and what he was feeling, through the whole ordeal. Yeah. So it's a 7 episode mini series about this struggling comedian who gets a stalker, and like he has no idea like what do I even like, how do I even like handle it, and like some of just I don't want to give away too much of it.
It's definitely on my list. Yeah.
It was very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I can see why it won all the awards, because it's well written. It's a very original premise. Like these are the things we need to, hold up to everybody, that like you can still make original content.
What? Original quality content?
Yeah. Because
it's a rarity.
That was brilliant. So I definitely give my stamp of approval on Baby Reindeer. Although it is very creepy. If you, Rachel, my wife, she didn't want to watch it.
She didn't, not at all.
No, she can't even, because she's like, if she watches it, she's gonna think a stalker's after her.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, don't.
For some people, it's a little too real.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, literally, the main character, the main actor, it happened to him.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
It's based on true events. So.
Yes. So I would put my recommendation on that. Make sure you check out Baby Reindeer. Won a lot of Emmys last week. And then the third and final thing I want to mention is I went to a YouTube show live, which was very interesting. Rachel and I love the Try Guys.
Will I be able to see you in a future YouTube video? Is that what happened?
I don't think so. I think we're
No?
too far deep into the audience. But
Ah.
I don't know. Maybe give it if they make it a video, maybe you might see us. But it was the Try Guys, and it was Keith's show, Eat the Menu. And he did it at the Fillmore right here in Philadelphia, and it was really funny. It was, he eats all the local cuisine around the area.
So what did they eat from this area? What is their approximation of classic Philadelphia cuisine?
Well, they did your standard pretzels. They did your standard cheese steaks and everything.
Where did they get the cheesesteak from, though?
So they did a funny thing where they put Pat's versus Gino's versus D'Alessandro's up.
Okay.
And they had the audience, they went into the audience to try, and somebody had to try and defend each one.
Okay. From these random people from the audience?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And
Who's going to defend Gina's? Maybe.
Well,
there's somebody out there.
somebody, yeah, right? You find somebody. But the guy who defended Gino's was hilarious because his defense of Gino's was, Gino's is the place you tell tourists to go to so that they don't spread around and infect your favorite cheesesteak places that you like when you live here.
Okay.
So-
fair enough.
And he
fair enough.
And he ended it with Gino's is the cheesesteak shop. Is not the cheesesteak shop you deserve. It's the cheesesteak shop you need.
Okay. So Gino's is the Batman.
Yes, Gino's is the Batman of Philadelphia.
Okay. I guess, yeah.
Yes, and he won. That
is quite the
was
argument.
that was a great argument.
You
I
really
guess you're
can't
right.
top that. What's Pat's going to say about that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So, and then to cap the night off, they have another show called Trolley Problems, which is it's a great show.
Is that based on the thought experiment, the trolley car?
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, they have two celebrity guests. They come in, and the host gives them a prompt where they have to choose between two
It's like
embarrassing choices.
two bad situations.
Most of the time, it's theoretical, but sometimes they have an alarm go off, and if the
no.
alarm goes off, it means you have to do it.
Oh no.
And on the show, on the stage, they had change Philadelphia's city tagline to "We're not as good as Pittsburgh," or "You have to marry Gritty." And both of them was all right, well, marry Gritty.
Obviously.
And then the alarm went off, and we're like, wait, what? And Gritty showed up.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, spoiler alert.
It's must have been a little scripted for
Yeah.
that to happen, but that's still fun.
That's amazing that they got Gritty to show up.
That's
to
pretty cool.
A profit show, because you have the one guy was talking about it after the show. We didn't know if we were going to get this because we had to go through not just the Flyers but NHL.
Oh yeah.
It's their trademark and their copyright.
That's a lot of paperwork to go through probably to.
Yeah. So
That's fun,
props
though. That's
to
awesome.
props to the Try Guys for making a great live show. It was crazy.
It's great that they made it so themed to the city.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I don't know if they do release the Philadelphia episode. You might see me in it. I don't know.
It sounds like a fun episode, regardless.
Yeah, it was a great
regardless of
time.
whether or not you're in it.
Yeah, it was a great time. Rachel and I had a blast. So yeah, and it was just one of those things. It was they really took the time to try and think how do we make every moment ridiculous. So definitely appreciated it. And there you go. That's what I did. It was a busy week.
That was a busy week.
Yeah, I did all those things. Boom, boom, boom.
And of course, you capped it off with a very pleasant and not at all stressful Eagles game.
Of course. So let's jump right into the sports sampler on that note.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Ha ha! But by the way, before we get off the title card, there you go. Gritty's on the title
There's
card.
Gritty, a
So-
Philadelphia icon.
Yep. And now legally married to the two guys that were on that episode of Trolley Problems.
We support love in all its forms, even to airplanes and Ferris wheels and Gritty.
Wow, what a statement, but that is true here on the Chris
true,
Noodle
yeah.
podcast. Yep, everything we've done here.
The one love, though, that does give us a little bit of trouble is our love of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
I like that transition.
Yes. Boy, what a game that was.
Where are my Eagles?
Really, though, where are they?
It does feel like that sometimes because what should have been, two of the best offenses in the league this season turned into a sudden defensive tight game.
It was what was it, 3-0 for the longest time.
Yeah. Including a moment where Nick Sirianni refused to kick a field goal at the end of the half and instead go for it.
So are we getting directly into the decision on 4th and 1?
I want to get into that because even though I'd say this is a Nick Sirianni problem, it's been kind of happening a lot with a lot of head coaches.
Well,
I think of Doug Peterson. I think of the guy for the Lions.
Well, I can tell you
why. What's his
why.
name? The
Dan
head coach?
Campbell.
Dan Campbell, thank you.
In Detroit.
Why is this happening where these coaches think a field goal is a loss or something?
I know the answer for you, and it's the advent of things like next-gen stats and analytics, and this like super aggressive view towards football because offenses have never been better, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, hold on. I'm getting there. Offenses have never been better up to recently, right? But you have to think it's all reactionary. So think of 2017 onward, where Doug Peterson had the biggest balls in the world by going for it on fourth and down every single time, basically. So people are like, wait a second. Offenses at that point were super productive. I mean, if you weren't throwing for 4,000 yards, you're a bum. Go work at Wawa, right? That was the vibe for a few years.
You're not going to be in the top 10 of. You're not going to be in the top 15 of offenses,
right? That was the vibe, right? You couple that with the advent of analytics, next gen stats, and they found out, oh, you can add 2.7% to your win probability by going for it on 4th down. Then all of a sudden, defenses caught up. Defenses started to get a little bit better. Offenses, for whatever reason, start to, as we saw the past year or so, start to go on the decline again. But we're still caught up in that analytics mindset of that hyper-aggressiveness. So you see situations where Nick Sirianni gets the printout from the office. The 2.1% win probability if I get it on 4th and 1. Not thinking there's like 10 seconds left. If I get this first down, I got to scramble to get the guys lined up and then just, kick a field goal anyway? And they're so caught up in the stats and the aggressiveness of it and the idea that offenses win football games in the 21st century that they're failing to account for actual football IQ and like actual game clock management.
Yeah, actual game situation matters.
Right. It's all situational awareness, but it's all
and
analytics driven.
I feel like Nick Sirianni doesn't have this.
He does not.
I don't know. I don't know if they give him. I don't know if like the Eagles analytics team gives him like a checklist of like things to hit during a game or something, because it feels like sometimes he does that as opposed to realizing like what is actually happening in the game,
right?
And what does the game flow dictate.
And I think it's a league-wide problem because, like I said, a lot of teams were like, oh, offense is the key, and they went hyper-aggressive on offense. The analytics is all geared towards that, and they're not paying attention to what is happening on the field, which should be the most important thing.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, 2% win probability if I make it here. Okay, well, does that take into account that like you're not going to be able to get lined up for an offensive play in 10 seconds after you run the play?
Yeah, it doesn't take that into consideration. So that whole thing is bothering me, and it's getting to the point that I'm starting to think like I don't think I can defend Nick Sirianni. Like if this is what if this is the kind of game plan he's gonna allow for this season upcoming, I don't know. I think his seat's gonna be very toasty.
Yeah. I don't want to be one of those WIP callers that's like, get him out of here. He's a bum.
Get Bill Belichick.
Right. But, I mean, last season I did say that, Brian Johnson was rightfully criticized, but I did say numerous times that I think the problem stems from the coaching culture in Philadelphia in general. Like, to allow people to make those decisions and then not to be able to right the ship, that is not a coordinator problem. That's a head coaching problem. Now, I do think Nick Sirianni is still the best person for the job right now because, like, you're not going to go get Bill Belichick. You're just not, right?
I don't know. Maybe you could. You could call him up.
give him a ring. Hey, Bill. No, but it's all systemic, and until the Eagles break that cycle, we're just going to keep getting head coaches that are hyper aggressive, that don't have good situational awareness, and who lack that I don't want to say old school discipline, but you do see a lot of like boneheaded moves, right? Like a lack of situational awareness that we talked about last week.
Yep.
And this week again.
Yep. And then another thing to mention, oh boy, I don't know, what exactly is happening with Jalen Hurts, because he has been having some very questionable passing decisions.
It's been rough. It's been rough for him.
Yeah. It really does seem like ever since Shane Steichen?
Yeah.
Ever since he left, it's just been like he doesn't know what the right read is anymore.
He's following the Wentz trajectory.
Or if he gets one read, that's it. He makes one read and then ducks. That
was a criticism of his, is that he did bail after like one or two options. Coming out of college, I remember people saying that. It looked like he had gotten out of that, but it's to my eyes, it seems like it's coming back.
Yeah,
right.
And it's costing us in turnovers. Six turnovers in 3 games.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
and
you're not going to win games.
And taking bad sacks too. It's not just the turnovers; it's the bad sacks at like the worst possible moments.
Tell me what I'm about that. Tell me what I'm about to say next.
What is it? The design quarterback runs, the RPO.
Well,
no. Just chuck it up.
Yes. But he had a moment on 4th down.
I know.
And he got sacked. Why? Just toss it up there. I would rather have Brett Favre in his Parkinson 53-year-old condition
as
my quarterback versus a quarterback that isn't going to throw it on 4th down.
There's no reason.
4th down. Chuck it up.
I can understand taking a sack on 3rd if you don't want to risk the football getting turned over or whatever, but it's 4th down. It's going to turn over anyway.
Yeah,
if you don't convert, they get the ball back.
Chuck it.
So you might as well do anything.
Throw the bomb. Good luck.
Or at least throw it out of bounds so you don't take a hit. Like, just do something. Don't get sacked. Just anything.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Fumble it forward, even though that's illegal. Just do anything.
Except for if you're the Cowboys.
Right.
Did you see that play, by the way?
No, I did not.
Dak Prescott was in his own end zone, and
he
tried to scoop it to a lineman in front of him.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, a lot of people said that should have been a safety. They said he tried to pass, which was a little. I don't know. Yeah, and they ruled it like.
Did they rule it incomplete?
They ruled it something like. I forget what it is when the play's not authorized or something. What do you call it?
Play's not authorized.
Like the play isn't illegal formation. They ruled it as like an illegal formation penalty instead of like intentional grounding, which would have been safety.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but it sounds like you're describing an intentional grounding in the end zone, which is.
But they didn't call it that. They called it illegal formation, which is only a yard penalty, so it's half the distance to the goal.
How is it illegal formation if the play's already started?
Woo, yeah, I don't know. Were they trying to save the Cowboys? I don't know.
Like, wouldn't illegal formation be like the guys not lined up on or off the ball, too many guys on one side, something like too many players on the field?
It was a weird call. It was like it should have been a safety. But so that's been like a thing on the NFL Reddit. Is like, all right, well, I guess if you're the Cowboys quarterback, just chuck it to your lineman. That counts as a pass.
They're trying to save the Cowboys, who are, well, we always knew that they were a major disappointment, but now I think the rest of the league is catching on.
Yes.
You want to talk about refs making bad calls, though? I want to take a moment to talk about just the dirty plays
on Devonta Smith.
Oh my God! But not just that. What about blocking Darius Slay into the benches as well?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a dirtier team than the New Orleans Saints? They had Bounty Gate.
Yeah, in terms of history, it's very tough.
The head coach there right now was on that staff. I mean, come on. The hit on Devonta Smith.
Yeah. The one on Devonta Smith was embarrassing. Why was that play not ruled dead?
It should have been.
And then the guy flies out from behind him.
Right.
That should be unnecessary roughness.
Exactly. So here's the thing that people are missing about this play is that, like, even if you want to hit a player after the play, it doesn't even make sense to hit them forward. You know what I mean? You want to always push them back, not forward to gain yards. Devonta Smith was losing yards, and this guy hits him in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
right?
just so they could sandwich him.
Right. That's exactly it. It was with the express intent of laying the big hit. I don't know how he wasn't called for helmet to helmet. defenseless receiver, unnecessary rough. Like, there were so many things.
Yeah, and they just
And just nothing.
Yep, swallowed the whistle on that one. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, he was being driven backwards by multiple guys. He had given up. He wasn't even fighting anymore. Like, you could tell just his body language. He was like going limp.
Yeah.
You know, he was not.
This is what happens when you don't call play dead.
Yeah. You gotta call that play dead. It was so clear that he was giving himself up, and then to not call unnecessary roughness then on the player. I was so mad.
Yep.
Now Devontae Smith is gonna miss time.
Yep.
Because of that.
Yep. Here comes the NFC least. Here we go.
So frustrating.
Although somehow all the teams won except the Cowboys, so I guess I'll take that. But I still feel like this is an NFC least season coming up.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
Though I guess if you want to get to saving graces here, we do have to mention the defense pretty much.
Man.
Wow. They showed up. Vic Fangool, he came up.
Let me tell you, this defense is in a very difficult position because they're going to end up losing us games pretty soon, and people are going to blame them, and it is not their fault. It is the offense's fault. What I mean is that they are playing so hard, so much, that they're going to get gassed
Well,
by week 6.
That's what happened in the Falcons game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if that game ended, 2 minutes earlier, Eagles would be 3-0.
Right.
But they got gassed. It
They
happened.
got gassed because they are doing everything possible to keep this team afloat, and the offense just, I don't know what it is. And like, this is why you can't trust statistics, because we're the second best offense in the league in terms of yards.
Yeah, yards.
But like, you've been watching the games. Would you consider us the second best offense?
No.
Not at all, right?
Yeah. Well, it always depends on how do you actually rank offenses. What are your what's your criteria?
There's so many ways to measure it.
Yeah.
The most common way is yards for some reason, or like points per game, which I think we took a hit with this last game. I mean, we didn't even say the score. The Eagles beat the Saints 15-12. It was a slow burn.
Yeah. All right. So, any other things do you want to mention as we?
No,
leave
I think we hit all the main topics. Defense.
Thank God we got Saquon Barkley.
That's really
Thank God.
Talk about saving graces. The defense and Saquon Barkley. I don't understand why every play isn't just a handoff.
Yeah. First and second down should just be Saquon Barkley.
I don't understand why they're trying to get cute with this RPO stuff still. It hasn't worked in like 2 straight seasons.
Hasn't worked since Staken.
Yeah. Instead of pulling it, just actually hand it to Saquon Barkley, because even if he gets hit at the line, he's still going to fall forward for 1 or 2 yards. That's the reason you get a Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Is because he doesn't just go down.
Yep. I don't understand either.
Instead, they're still trying to be cute. I don't understand. Like 3-4 years into it, let's be cute, guys.
Yep.
Like,
it's if these play calls keep happening, we're gonna have the same thing from last year.
And this is 3 different OCs.
Yeah.
So it's not the offensive coordinator at this point, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So there you go. At least the Eagles did pull out the win, and they are sitting at 2-1 going into week number 4. So with that in mind, should we officially look ahead to the Fantastic Four picks?
Let's do it.
All right, there we go. Fantastic Four picks for week 4. What do we got?
All right. First up, we have a tight division race in the NFC North already. The Minnesota Vikings at 3-0 are traveling to Green Bay to face off against the 2-1 Packers, who could very well have been 3-0 themselves. Rich, who do you like in this really, really close matchup?
Yeah, you kind of hinted at my argument here. The Green Bay Packers, even though they went through the storm with losing Jordan Love there for a couple games, and possibly even this one, he still might not be back for this one. They have made it work with Malik, the backup quarterback, and this offense is still doing the job, getting the job done. I think it's important to remember what you thought of these teams before the season started. Nobody had the Vikings being 3-0. And while it's impressive that the Vikings have done so, I think 2 of the wins are a little sus. Is that what the kids call it these days?
That is what the kids call it.
Including one against the San Francisco team that is heavily depleted due to injuries. Whereas the Green Bay Packers, I think their 2 wins have been very tough. They've done the things that they needed to do to win games. And if that game against the Eagles in Brazil lasted another 3 minutes, I think the Packers may have came back and won that game. So I actually like this spot here for the Packers at home, and the point spread is only -2 or -2.5. So if you can get the Packers for under a field goal, I'm going with this as my pick of the week. I really do like this game for a betting proposition.
You know, I hear all that, but part of me really likes the underdog here. You say that Minnesota's wins have been easy wins, but San Fran, even with the injuries, is still San Francisco. One of the things that people always praised them for was depth. The other win, a 34-7 drubbing of the Houston Texans, who everybody thought was going to be good. On the flip side, you have Green Bay barely beating the Colts, 16 points, and then winning against Tennessee, who doesn't deserve to be playing this season.
That's true.
So, you know, we're talking about like quality of wins here, and that's why I think this is going to be a very close game, or I hope it's going to be a close game, because that means it'll be a good game. I still like Minnesota, though, here. A little bit of underdog energy. They beat some quality teams, and to be able to win this one and take that early leap in the division would really say something about that team and what they have going on there. So this is, you know, I don't want to say it's a must-win game this early, but for Minnesota to really stamp their claim this season, this would be the first game to be able to do so. I like Minnesota.
All right, a disagreement to start off the Week 4 games.
Well, let's see how we feel about this one. Two of the NFC's other top teams, the Seattle Seahawks, traveled to Detroit to face off against the Lions. This is the Monday night primetime game. Rich, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is another interesting game. Seahawks, they're undefeated too. They're 3-0.
They are 3-0.
Yeah, Geno Smith, man, they're leading a revival there. But I still think Detroit overall is the better team, better offensive line, better defensive line. The only thing to keep an eye out for is they may have lost their tight end for a week. He was on the injury report after exiting the game last week. So that might be a big loss for Jared Goff, not having the safety net with your starting tight end, Sam. I forget his last name.
Laporta?
Thank you. Sam Laporta, yeah. He's popped up on the injury report. Keep an eye on that. But otherwise, I think it's Detroit at home.
Yeah, I love Detroit from what they were able to do last year. They're a very tough team. They're a very talented team with a lot of weapons. I think even if they're missing the safety valve of the tight end, they still have, I'm going to butcher his name, oh my God. Amon-Ra St.
Egyptian God.
The Egyptian God wide receiver who plays like a god. He's fantastic. Also, Williams is out of the backfield running the ball. They just have a really super talented team all around. So, you know, I'm going to go with Detroit here. Seems like the easy pick to me. But Seattle, they're quite surprising this year, starting 3-0. I wasn't necessarily expecting them to do that.
Yeah, they have a formidable team as well.
They really do. But two teams who definitely do not have formidable teams. I like this matchup. It's the battle of the big bad cats. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to face off against the Carolina Panthers. A single win between these two teams. Rich,
wow.
Who's going to get the second one?
Man, yeah, who would have thought the Bengals would start off the season 0-3?
Not me.
This is not a good spot for Cincinnati to be in. But the other thing to keep in mind is the Panthers right now are not starting Bryce Young. Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback who used to start for the Bengals.
That was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. Is it weird? I think the Panthers might be able to pull this off and go 2-2.
2-2, so Andy Dalton
would be
lifting the
ridiculous.
Panthers. Are you officially putting your pick in for the Panthers? That defies.
I kind of want to.
You can do whatever you want to do.
You know, like
there's no penalty to picking wrong.
Like that would be so ridiculous this season.
That would be wild.
The Panthers would be 2-2 and in the thick of that NFC South division.
The Panthers going from laughingstock to potential division contender. Meanwhile, the Bengals, who are supposed to be a top 3 team in the AFC, all of a sudden
that offense just isn't clicking.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be
which
the
is
Panthers.
Weird given the weapons.
Yeah.
So you're going Panthers. I'm going to take the safe bet with the Cincinnati
Yeah.
Bengals. I mean, like,
How about this?
if they lose this game, I think you got to write off their season almost. I don't know how you go out and lose to a team like the Panthers when you have the pedigree of the Bengals.
How about
recently.
this? How about this? I would take the Panthers if you tease up the point spread.
Oh, okay. That makes
if you
sense.
put them on a
That ma-
teaser,
Yeah.
I would do that.
Okay. Wait, what is the spread right now? Let me
I'm
see.
sure the Panthers are the underdog.
They are, but it's only 3.5.
So yeah, bump that up. Get it past a touchdown. I would take
Yeah.
that.
See, it's just over a field goal. I think you may be onto something here with the Andy Dalton possible revenge game, revived mindset there in Carolina. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So another disagreement there. But maybe we can find agreement on this last one. Of course, it is our very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Tampa Bay to face off against the Buccaneers. Rich, tell us, do we progress to 3-1?
I know this is going to sound stupid, and I'm wearing an Eagles jersey right now. But for some reason, Baker Mayfield has great games against the Eagles.
I said when we had Carson Wentz, I would take Mayfield over Wentz, and everybody said that I was crazy.
I'm going to say the Buccaneers do pull this off, but I want everyone to remember this is the beginning of the season, and at the beginning of when we're doing our preseason predictions, I said the Eagles are going to be in a good spot if they go 2-2 to start off the season. So I'm going to stay by that. I'm going to say the Buccaneers win, but the Eagles, hopefully they have a better offensive showing and they look like a more complete team than what we saw in the last 2 weeks. Because if not, then they're really going to need this bye week to straighten things out.
They really, really need to get things sorted out quickly in Philadelphia. You look at the stats and it doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at it right now on NFL.com. Second best offense, fifth in passing. But I mean, those yards are going nowhere. I've never seen a team pass for so many yards
And no points.
and do absolutely nothing with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts had over 300 yards just this past weekend?
No points.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And it
mean
was
anything.
a single rushing touchdown for Saquon Barkley. That's it.
He must be very frustrated to own in fantasy right now.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still going to go with the Eagles. I originally had them going 3-1 to start the season. I think I had them losing to the Packers at one point. No, actually, maybe I had them going 4-0.
I had them.
You had them 2-2.
I had them losing to the Packers and then losing one of these AFC or NFC South games.
Yeah.
So, if they go 2-2, it matches with what I said at the preseason.
I'm still going to go Eagles. I have to believe they can beat the Buccaneers. Even though Baker Mayfield does actually scare me a little bit.
Yeah,
He's a good quarterback.
He always
in Tampa
seems
Bay.
to have a field day against us.
Yeah.
He knocked us out of the playoffs last year.
It's gonna be a tough game for us. It's gonna be a tough matchup. We're down 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No. I'm changing my. I forgot we have no wide receivers. Oh man, I hate this team.
Spoken like a true Philadelphia fan.
I gotta go back to that rage room. No, I'm sticking with the Philadelphia Eagles. Whatever.
Logic, whatever.
Logic, whatever. No, because whatever I pick, they're gonna try to do the opposite because they hate me.
All right, well, there you go. That's the Fantastic Four picks for week number 4.
Damn. How do we go into the league? How do we go into the year with 2 top 10 receivers and then all of a sudden we have none?
Philadelphia sports.
Man,
Yeah.
it's like never-ending stress.
Yeah. The good news is, though, a lot of other teams seem to be having this problem, so we're not
Tons
the
of
only ones.
injuries, tons of offenses just waffling.
San Francisco, they really could be in trouble if they don't get some players coming back.
If it's not this year, it doesn't happen for San Fran, mark my words.
Well,
like,
yeah.
like if they miss this year, that window's going to slam shut on their fingers. Just like Rich's computer slams those notifications through do not disturb mode. That's how abruptly it's going to end for San Francisco if they don't get it done this year.
Microsoft agrees with you.
It always does.
At this point, I really do feel like Bill Gates is like commenting on our podcast whenever that.
It never failed. Whenever we do, because we've done the podcast at different times, and it's just like, boom.
Yeah, hello, remember me?
It's always at the end of sports too.
So there you go. My computer wanted to let everybody know that it agrees with Mike.
Of course.
Anyway, there you go. Our predictions for week 4, and we're looking forward to the rest of the NFL season. Look, at least at the end of the day, we have football back in full swing.
Yep.
And the Cowboys look horrible.
That always puts a smile on our
That
faces.
does. Because, man, they look like they couldn't stop anybody running on them. So, good luck, that team. So, on that note, we're going to leave the sports sampler and take a break. But don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news. When we return, don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh. Ah, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. Laven.
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Oh, man, we gotta love Democracy Manifest. That is
so
just... That, again, that is in the Sound Clip Hall of Fame, the rafters here in the Crispy Noodle headquarters.
Giant banners hanging. Yep.
It's just a big photo of him just watching over us.
It's just absolutely wild. That
Yes.
entire clip.
Yeah. It always just makes me laugh. So there you go. Yeah. Gotta love Democracy Manifest. And you know what? I guess some would say that is a very entertaining clip, right?
That's true.
So that's an appropriate way to leave the sports realm and go into our second segment of the show with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, there we go. We're officially in entertainment entree territory, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new movie, TV, and video game properties that get released. It is time for Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, first in movies, if you're looking for something the entire family can enjoy together, go check out the new animated adventure film, The Wild Robot, coming to theaters this week. A shipwrecked robot learns to adapt to its new surroundings, building relationships with the native animals on the island where it's stranded, and it forms a parental bond with an orphaned gosling. It is a great movie. Critics are absolutely loving it. The film earning a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score of 8.5 out of 10. They're praising the voice acting, the artwork, and the resonance of its emotional notes. It seems like it's going to be one of the best animated films of the year. Probably will get some serious Oscar attention for its critical acclaim, so go check out The Wild Robot in theaters this week. And I also wanted to mention, I forgot to add it to our sheet here, but in video games, Pal World is coming to the PlayStation 5. It's out right now. It was announced at the PlayStation State of Play. If you don't know what Pal World is, it's essentially an ultra-violent open-world Pokemon game, where you catch creatures, but you also, for some reason, have bazookas and machine guns, and you can pit the creatures against each other or enslave them to work in factories to build you supplies, and you can, like, make your own little weird critter factory hellscape.
Wow.
But
Is this sponsored by China?
I don't know, but the company's being sued by Nintendo for its likeness to Pokemon, except with the addition of machine guns and violence. So if that sounds intriguing, go check out Pal World on PlayStation 5. It's previously released on Xbox, but now on Sony consoles as well. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. Speaking of video games, PlayStation had its PlayStation Showcase.
Yes, it did.
News?
Yeah,
What do you want to call it? Like convention? No, it's not convention.
Yeah, it was like news, new releases, just updates on different properties and things. It had its State of Play earlier this week. And it was pretty much standard fare. They talked about the PlayStation 5 Pro, which
please buy it.
Right, which we've been over. We're like, is it that much of an upgrade? They announced some free DLC for the new Astrobot video game, which is, fantastic for players and fans. Probably two of the bigger announcements, though, was Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered.
You love that game.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, it was...
Stupid dinosaur! Get the out of here!
I love it, but Nicki Minaj does not.
I imagine Nicki Minaj is not a fan of...
no, probably not.
Of the Horizon games.
Although you do get to kill the robot dinosaur, so does that make it better or worse for her? I don't know.
That dinosaur been working my nerves all night.
That's the most appropriate entertainment entree clip because we combined both video games and music.
Yeah.
And celebrity.
Yeah. It's bringing it all together.
Yeah.
It's all together.
Stupid fucking dinosaur! Get the out of here!
So
appropriate too. I didn't even realize you're wearing a dinosaur shirt.
I am. For those on the video feed, I don't know if they can really see it. It's a dinosaur shirt, and I also had a dinosaur mug earlier too.
Yeah,
the exact same artwork.
You're representing the dinosaurs today.
I got this at the Philadelphia Zoo.
You are.
I don't know why they had dinosaurs, but
you're a bat in 1,000 when it comes to dinosaur representation, Mikey.
I don't understand.
That dinosaur been working my nerves all night.
All night.
I don't understand how people don't like dinosaurs, though.
All night.
Like, Nicki Minaj is just wrong.
Yes.
She's just wrong. Dinosaurs are awesome. Especially robot dinosaurs like in Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I will not be replaying it. The remasters are getting frustrating to me. And, I know it's like a very common talking point. Like, everybody likes to be angry at the remasters. I know that they serve a purpose for people who have not played the game. They can play, the most, up to date, stylish version of it, right?
Right.
Like that makes sense. What I don't like about the remaster culture is that I feel like a lot of times these studios are like resting on their laurels by just releasing remaster after remaster.
Like
Yeah.
who in particular?
Well, like Sony in this case, but also like Nintendo, they just keep on re-releasing the same games from years past. Grand Theft Auto as well with Rockstar. I mean, it's like, I don't know how many times you can re-release a game, and Skyrim is another one that has just come out on every single console imaginable.
I had a conversation with my neighbor the other day, and we were talking about Grand Theft Auto, and he was like, "How old's that game? Like 6, 7 years old?" I'm like, "Dude, no, it's like 12."
Yeah. It is a full-on 12 years old.
Yeah, so it's about time that they get to Grand Theft Auto 6 next
Remember
year.
when we used to have a new game every 5 to 6 years?
Yeah.
And I know development cycles are longer because the games are bigger and more complicated, but, like, I don't know. You go from 6 years to 12 years.
Yeah, what's happening?
Like, something in that equation doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
See, I'm annoyed at back in the day, they never took a PlayStation 1 game and like, oh, here's Crash Bandicoot Remastered on the PlayStation 2. Oh, here's Crash Bandicoot Remastered on the PlayStation 3.
Well, they also had backwards compatibility.
Well, but that's the thing the PlayStation 5 does. You can play Horizon Zero Dawn PlayStation 4 version on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I understand remastering PlayStation 3 and earlier. Like those, totally fine with. That makes sense to me. Anything that you can still play the original version on your console, that does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
So that kind of, like, I understand the purpose of it is a little disappointing, but whatever. But the thing that I did want to talk about, though, was Ghost of Yotei. It's a new Ghost of Tsushima game. It is the sequel set in the same universe, but 300 years after the first game. So new character, new location. If you've played Ghost of Tsushima, it was a fantastically breathtaking, like, artistic game. The way they, had the nature around you kind of give you subtle clues about where to go. You didn't really need a map system or, waypoints. You could turn them on, but it was, like, fun to, like, follow the wind to your next objective, or like, oh, here's a little fox that's going to lead you to like a little hidden area. There's just so much vivid, environmental storytelling woven into the open world. So I'm really excited to dive back into that world and see what they have now in store for players, having developed this from the ground up on PlayStation 5. Because Ghost of Tsushima was a cross-platform game, like PlayStation 4 and 5 at the same time, but you know that when you're developing specifically for the latest console, it lets you do even more. So I'm really excited to see what they have in store. Absolutely no more information than that, just a general 2025 release date. So I'm assuming fall 2025.
Well, then it's going to be a big fall because that Grand Theft Auto 6, wow.
That's if Grand Theft Auto 6 doesn't get pushed. I've heard rumors that it could be delayed.
And there was a quote from Rockstar Games CEO saying that they want to hold firm. So get the whips ready because
we'll see. I don't think Rockstar's ever released a game in a not quote unquote complete state. At least the single player portion.
No, not really. They've done they usually hit their mark.
So I'm just wondering, though.
That might mean that employees are going to be living at Rockstar Games.
Yeah,
soon.
It either means unfair working conditions, or what if they push them to release it before it's ready? Could this be the first Rockstar game? I've kind of had this sinking feeling that like this next Grand Theft Auto might start to lose the shine and the sheen on Rockstar.
We'll see
if it hasn't already.
I mean, I don't know. So far, they have not missed.
Right, but it's hard to say that when there's like 8-9 years between game releases.
Right.
Because the last one we had was what? Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah.
And that was, I can't even remember. That was before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Right. So 5 years ago?
Yeah, minimum 5
right.
years, yeah. So, but we'll see. But anyway, so PlayStation
He has a plan, Arthur! Rockstar Games has a plan!
Every time I think about replaying one of their games, I'm like, I don't have another 150 hours to ride around the open west. It was a great game, but
it's one
of those things where it's like I can't play that again.
Yeah.
It's too long.
You do
too
it
big.
once and you enjoy it,
Right.
and I don't think you can do it again.
And then you just tuck it away on the shelf to collect dust for a decade. But yeah, so that was the PlayStation Showcase, PlayStation State of Play. Really looking forward to some of that stuff. Go check out the YouTube video to catch all the announcements for yourself.
Yep.
But there's one other entertainment story we have to get to. We had a chance to check out the first episode of Agatha All Along.
Yep.
And
I'm curious as to your take on it, because you were the one initially. You were like, "Oh, I don't know why this show's getting made. I don't know." And then, like, as like more information came out about it, you were kind of warmed up to it. So, where do you stand on it now? 2 episodes in, because it was technically 2 episodes.
right. So I did watch both episodes.
Yeah. Where do you stand on it?
And I got to tell you, as most things Marvel, I've come around to it. I'm enjoying the mystery that they're laying out for us. I still don't. Well, I can see now why we need the show. It is very clear. I don't know if this is a spoiler.
Should I officially
maybe
spoiler?
do spoiler? Yeah.
Yay! Spoiler sound effect.
It's a spoiler. Ooh, it's a spoiler. Don't listen. Go away.
There you go. That's the official spoiler.
I don't know how much of a spoiler it is. I mean, within the opening minutes, there are very, very clear allusions to Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. Like, this show is going to be the show that explains how she's coming back, I feel.
Well, as we said
just
before,
in that first episode, like, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Well, as we reported before, this is supposed to be an attendant trilogy between WandaVision, Agatha All Along, and then whatever the Vision show is going to be.
Yeah. So, after watching the first 2 episodes, I like the mysteries that they're setting up. I do like the fact that it is still connected to WandaVision. It's still, I think, for my money, the best Disney Plus Marvel property, WandaVision. So anything connected to that immediately earns me a few extra points. I didn't think it would be that connected, but like straight away, first episode, they're like, boom, this is Wanda's body. Whether
and
that's
they're back in Westview,
Eastview, whichever view it is. I also liked how they were playing with the genre in that first episode, but they kind of dropped that facade very quickly.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Because when it happened, I was kind of of two minds, but I want to get your opinion.
Yeah, I enjoed it because I love the Mayor of Easttown vibes.
Yeah,
that they were doing with that, and I can say it. This is the first time that a Disney property somebody says "eat my ass" or something.
It was also the first time that we saw what's her name, the actress Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
She said that she wanted to be the first female ass on screen in the MCU.
She was.
And she was.
Good job.
I
salute you, Catherine.
We salute you.
Good job. She's a jolly good fellow. She's a jolly good fellow. We salute you. Good job.
God bless America. No, but I mean, like, I do like the fact that Disney does show that they're willing to push the boundaries a little bit. They are still the family-friendly company, but they got butts on screen. They got Eat My Ass. They got Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, they're showing now in Phase 5. They're like, okay, we can do a bit more. We can be a little bit more mature in smart ways. I'm torn, though, on the dropping of the genre facade, because when it started, I was like 100%. I'm like, I'm in. Instead of time eras of television, they're doing genres. But then they just drop the act. Well,
I think that was like the red herring was supposed to make you think like, oh, that's what they're going to do this season.
And that's exactly the conclusion that I came to was, if you do go that route, you run the risk of being too similar to WandaVision.
Yeah.
Right? Replaying the same gimmick. So I like the fact that they did it for the episode. Then they're like, no, we're done with that. We're going to throw it out then. So, I was kind of intrigued by it. I kind of wanted to see what other genres they could have done, but ultimately, I think it's better that they pulled it back quicker than they did with WandaVision.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm excited for it. What about you? Because you were kind of in support of it the whole time. So
Yeah,
from your perspective,
well, I do love Catherine Hahn. So I mean,
yeah, she's fantastic.
She's hilarious. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this season. I think it's and they did it at the perfect timing too, with like October coming up. I mean,
I think they're going to wrap up for Halloween, right?
Yeah, I think the last episode is supposed to be the week of Halloween. Like literally,
Perfect.
they timed this out beautifully. And yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes. And I really love the cast in this. It's pretty spot on.
What's her name? Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah,
she's
fantastic,
just amazing. So yeah, agreed. Love the cast. Love the mystery. Love the connection to WandaVision. I was not sold early on, but I've slowly, every time we talked about it, I slowly started to turn more and more towards it. And now I'm like, all right, I'm in. Count me in.
All right. Well, we'll update you to see if there's any major developments or if Mikey changes his mind.
It's always possible.
Right, as the season goes on. But there you go. That's our last topic in the entertainment entree. But we've got one more segment left. Folks, it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastards. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and he keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
We're going to Tennessee in this story.
Yo, we're from Tennessee.
It's good to yell at people and tell them you're from Tennessee. That way you'll be safe.
Yeah, you're supposed to be safe in Tennessee.
We have not had that clip in a while.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, we only bring it out when we got something specific from Tennessee.
Now, you went to Kentucky.
Yeah, I went to Kentucky. No, I did not go to Tennessee.
It was close enough to Tennessee.
Close.
How was that area? What was your?
I don't know. I was in Kentucky.
Yeah, but it's close enough, right?
I mean, I felt relatively safe.
Anything west of the Appalachian is just one giant nothingness. So.
Yo, we're from Tennessee.
It's good to yell at people and tell them you're from Tennessee. That way you'll be safe.
When I was in Kentucky, I probably should have told people I was from Tennessee.
That way you would have been safe.
Right. Actually, that's what I should have done. Oh,
I just assume it's all the same.
I didn't follow Gary Busey's perfect logic.
Yeah. Rock solid. No gaps in that logic whatsoever.
Yes.
Is that what these people did in the story? Did they shout that they're from Tennessee?
No, they didn't shout anything like that. No,
Okay.
the story takes place in Tennessee, and it's pretty simple. We're gonna follow the case of Diario Wilkerson, 20 years old.
Okay.
Diario. What a name. It's like you want it to be Mario, but like you wanted so many syllables before it. Diario.
Yeah. So what did Diario do?
This 20-year-old was wanted for charges of first-degree murder and reckless endangerment.
Whoa. Okay.
Yep.
First-degree murder. That's one of the worst ones we've had in the odd news.
Yep. But he escaped custody and was on the run. So because he was wanted for first-degree murder, the U.S. Marshals were after him. when they did some routine investigation, they went to a home in Memphis, Tennessee. And while they were talking to the resident there, out of nowhere, Diario fell through the roof, according to federal authorities.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
Again, actual audio.
Actual audio we got, yeah, right there when it happened. Yeah, there you go.
Fell through.
How would you like that? Like you're literally just doing like the first steps of your investigation,
and the criminal literally falls in your lap.
Yes.
You're like, wow, that was easy.
Is this how all cases work?
the perp just like falls out of the sky.
Literally right into their hands.
Yeah.
Just like, hey.
They're like, where could he be? And as they hold out their arms, kind of like questioning, he just plops right into the. So that they were hiding in the ceiling.
So
I mean,
so Wilkinson was at this family friend's home when he saw that an agent's car had pulled up. He ran upstairs to hide in the attic, according to the federal news release here.
Did he fall? Because not all attics are like finished.
There you go. That's the problem. You can't assume that all attics can withstand weight, because if they're not appropriately finished, yeah, you go right through them.
Oh man. I mean, there's no way for him to know that, but that's still funny.
Yep. If you're on the video feed, we've got a picture of the hole. There it is. Just fell.
That is a big human-sized hole.
Yeah. Looks like it was near the kitchen. He could have hit his head on the kitchen counter there.
Yeah, that would have been even worse.
Yeah. But just that almost seems like something from a damn cartoon. Just
yeah, right.
They won't find me up here, and then.
Because you done goofed.
Could you imagine?
And I know who it's coming from because I back traced it.
Yeah, you only had to do a limited amount of back tracing on this one.
Right. They just look up and they're like, oh, that's where it came from.
There it is.
There it
Because
is.
you done goofed.
I like to imagine, you brought up the idea of cartoons, and I was already on this kind of line of thinking where he like steps into the attic and you just hears creak, creak, and then like it starts to like crack around and then just falls straight down like Wile E. Coyote falling off the cliff,
What is worse? Yeah, what would be worse, that you don't expect it coming, or that you hear like the planks like start to give?
I think hearing them start to give. It's one thing if you like climb up there and you take a step and you go straight down. Like there's nothing you can do about that, right? Like it's just. But if you're up there and you're waiting and you hear the crack, crack, crack slowly, surely, as it like in the movies where like the glass is like spider webbing. You're like, oh man.
Like you just cut to like a B-roll of the board starting to give or something. Yeah.
No, I think that one's definitely worse.
Yeah.
'Cause all you can do is wait.
Yeah.
Wait to fall.
Yep, it's happening. Yes, he was arrested by the U.S. Marshals when he fell through the attic, and he is now back into federal custody, and he awaits his trial for first-degree murder.
Well, that was the easiest case those cops ever pulled.
That agent is like the MVP. Like, he's just like, I just woke up. Let me check out this house. I got a good feeling about it. I don't know. Let me knock. Just...
The guy literally fell into his lap, and also because he's falling out of the ceiling, he doesn't even have to chase the guy. The guy's like knocked out because he like fell out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
So,
he might have hit his head on that counter too. That is dangerously close to where he fell.
I feel like it doesn't matter where he hits or lands. I feel like falling out of the ceiling it's gonna take you a minute to get up.
All right. I think I need to do a little bit of pushback here.
What?
There is no other support. If you look closely on the video feed, especially the picture on the right, there is no other support system.
No.
There is literally just one plank of wood.
It's just,
and then the drywall.
Right. I don't know why he thought he could stand. He thought.
Like, there's no other support system on that attic.
Why wouldn't you stand on
the plank of wood?
The beam, right.
Yeah. That you got to do that if that's your last resort.
Or like if you start to step down and you feel like, oh, like that's really flimsy, don't go full weight on it.
Yeah.
I
think I got to do a little pushback on it. Yeah, sorry. That you got to.
Like, it looked like, what did he do? Like, he went up there and like jumped straight to I don't know how. I mean, I don't know. I've never fallen through
you got
a ceiling.
So yeah, you got to access some sort of crawl space entryway to get to the attic.
Right.
But then once you're up, if you're that dedicated and you're already up there, then at that point, yeah, you got to find the most stable area that you can find.
Yeah, I don't understand what he was thinking.
Yeah, because if it's just only a little slim piece of drywall,
That's not going to work.
That's
Yeah.
not going to work. No. Yep. So, but man, that agent, man, he's
What a lucky guy.
yeah. But get him to the casino or something, man.
Yeah, right?
Have him play the lottery.
I hope he did after that.
Yeah, that is an amazing stroke of luck on that guy.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
You just start your investigation and the guy falls right into you.
So I know I think you're gonna. You think you know where I'm gonna go with this because I keep seeing like Marshals. You know, I keep thinking of like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. Like, you know, ma'am, I saw you. You had a different car over here. You know, when officer, what the hell? Just all right. I need a blue copy, white copy, pink copy, everything that happened here. I need his social security number, his birthday. You know, I want like Tommy Lee Jones in that scenario.
Yeah.
Sam Gerard, or that was his character, Sam Gerard, doing like all the crazy info he needs. I want a perimeter set up 2 meters around where he fell from the attic. I want someone to go up in the attic and someone to go down into the basement. You know, he had all these ridiculous like requests. You know, when he was leading the team in The Fugitive.
And you got to keep yourself busy somehow.
Yeah, I mean that's how the U.S. Marshals do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, true story. Just falling out
Just
of the
right out of the ceiling.
Just you can't. It really does seem like something from a cartoon.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with the pushback. It just doesn't seem like, because how did he make it all the way over to that part of the ceiling? You know, without falling down before that.
Yeah.
Maybe he slipped off the beam.
Maybe.
Like, maybe I could see that. Maybe it's like dusty up there. He steps in. It's a narrow beam, and he, you know.
He sneezes and he falls down.
That's like more cartoonish. He goes, achoo! And it's just like.
Yeah. Achoo! Like, just like that. Yeah.
That's literally like a cartoon.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I think I have time for one more odd news story. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. And hey, guess what? Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yep, why not?
Wouldn't be the odd news without Florida.
Yeah, we got to have a Florida story.
All right, so what did Florida do?
All right. In this story, we are talking about the case of 26-year-old Molly Rose Hogan.
Because you suck, Hulk Hogan, and you suck Hulk Hogan ass.
I don't know if she's related, but
no relation, possibly?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hogan, you never know. But a couple that was set to be married this upcoming weekend got into an argument over a prenuptial agreement, according to cops.
There's a lot of smashing going on in the odd news.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're arguing about a prenup. All right.
Yep.
Things off to a great start.
Yep. Sunday night, they were having a quarrel about their prenuptials. The victim told cops that Hogan grabbed him around the head and struck him on the chest, back, legs, and caused multiple physical injuries, according to the police report.
Because you suck, Hulk Hogan, and you suck Hulk Hogan ass.
So
Man,
she
that
went
is
full blown, just scratching, clawing, punching, everything.
A literal fight over
Yeah.
a prenup.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The victim attempted to escape from the defense. Wait. This is in the police report. The victim attempted to escape from the defendant multiple times.
And she just hunted him down.
Police also note that at some point the victim's brother showed up, tried to break up the fight, and Hogan punched him as well.
Because you suck, Hulk Hogan, and you suck Hulk Hogan ass.
Someone needs to get this Hogan lady in the UFC or something. She's clocking people.
She's downright dangerous.
Yeah, she took out 2 guys.
That's wild.
Wow. I'm impressed.
She must be really pissed.
I'm not actually angry anymore. I'm quite impressed by this lady.
Yeah, right? To take down 2 separate guys in one evening?
Take out your supposed fiance and your what would have been your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Also, according to cops, what a surprise here. Alcohol appears to have been a factor here. So what a surprise. Yeah.
It usually is.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Just
shocker.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, that's not really, we're not.
That's not late breaking news in the odd news.
What a shocker. Forgot about that clip.
That's a classic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not surprising there. All right. So Hogan was arrested for domestic battery and simple battery.
Why?
Wait.
What's the difference between domestic and simple?
All right. I don't know why, but the police report says domestic battery, then simple battery. This is the explanation. She tried to bite the victim, so that counts as simple battery.
But
I don't know.
Not domestic?
I guess the act of biting is simple battery. I don't know. I'm not. This is when we need like a judge.
What
or
did that all also fall under domestic? Like I don't understand what the.
I wish we had.
What
like
makes something domestic versus simple?
We need to have like a cop or something or legal expert.
Kind of like just like hanging out in the corner.
Yeah,
like we read the story and then we turn around. We're like, what do you think?
Yeah,
it's like. When they're broadcasting NFL games, they go to the guy who's the rules expert.
Right. We need a rules expert because apparently simple battery, because she tried to bite the victim, that's a simple battery. I don't know. That's what it says in the police report. I don't know. They were misdemeanor counts, and she was released from custody on her own reconnaissance with the order that she cannot have contact with her future husband or brother-in-law.
That's going to be tough to get married.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't know how you get married.
They're getting ready to say their vows. They pull out a yardstick. They're like, hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Got to make sure that we're far enough apart.
Look how loud I have to yell.
I do. Do they pull out a tape measure? They're like, all right, that's 20 feet. We can start.
Yeah. All right. Start, Padre.
So I don't think it's going to work out between them.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to get married with a.
I don't see how it could.
With
she started a brawl with the future husband and the future brother-in-law.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can.
She just goes around the wedding, just knocking out the husband's family.
Could you do a virtual wedding? Is like we do have like 2 laptops.
Wedding over Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom wedding.
I mean,
I'm sure that happened at some point during the pandemic.
Absolutely, there had to have been at least a handful of people who did that.
You'll save money on a reception.
That is true.
Don't worry about the reception.
Yeah. That way, whatever money issues came up in the prenup, you're saving money there for both of you.
Actually, this was all orchestrated by the husband or whoever was worried about. I assume it was the husband because this lady here freaked out.
Right.
But like that, there you go. Here's a whole scam for you.
That's a good scam.
Don't have a wedding. Let's have a
virtual
wedding because there is a legal order against us from being together.
Right. You got to send out Teams invites to everyone.
Yeah. That's cheaper than a wedding.
Yeah.
So
it's like, please, everybody, make sure you're on mute throughout the wedding.
Bob, you're still on. We can still hear you. We can still hear you. Turn your mic off.
Aunt Betty, you have the cat filter on. Please.
I am not a cat.
I am not a cat.
I am Aunt Betty. Yeah.
I don't know who Aunt Betty is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know if this is a sign, but in the follow-up at the end of the news article here, the wedding registry between the two of them is still active.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, they're not going to say no to gifts. I mean, they're like, look, even if this, what they're going to do is they're going to keep people on the edge of their seat until like around the time where they have to send out invites. And then they'll be like, oh, shucks. And then maybe people will be like, oh, we can't return the gift. No, you should still return the gift, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole situation.
Do you think they're trying to get far enough to the point where they have gotten the gifts already?
I think this whole thing's a money-making scheme now.
It is. It absolutely 100% is.
Yeah.
100%.
No, we don't have to spend money on a wedding, and we can still collect gifts.
Exactly.
There you go. What a scam.
It is a multi-pronged attack to get as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Multi-pronged.
Yep. And then you can break up afterwards because, screw it.
They clearly are not going to work out, I don't think.
Yep.
If they're resulting to physical altercations with multiple family members.
Well, Hogan is the lady here.
Right.
Yeah. Mrs. Hulk Hogan. I don't know who
Mrs. Hulk. She's maybe there is some relation.
Yeah. Maybe she's roided up.
She's roided up. Are steroids passed along generationally?
Maybe, yeah. New meeting to eat your vitamins, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So there you go. Florida odd news there. 2 for the price of 1. You got two odd news stories.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, on this week's episode. So there you go. What a crazy duo of stories there to end this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys for supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast sent to you every week. 2 main ways to do that. First one is on our YouTube page. Go to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button so that you get the podcast sent to you every week, no matter what happens. Second main way to do that, we put the video podcast up on Spotify, and you can listen to us on Spotify. You can put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you. You can take us on the go with you if you're doing federal investigations, the first steps of those, and you don't know what you're going to run into.
Yeah, hopefully your investigation is so easy you can listen to the podcast while doing it.
And you catch the perpetrator right off the bat. That would be great.
Perfect.
But you can do that while you listen to us using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with Spotify.
Absolutely. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram. Let us know what's happening. If we use a topic that you send to us, we'll give you a sausage shout-out. It's the highest honor we can give you, other than saluting Catherine Hahn. I think that might have been the most praise we gave to somebody recently.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, other than Catherine Hahn, you can get the sausage shout out.
Second only to Catherine Hahn.
That's the second best honor we can give you here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. So make sure you do that if you want us to talk about a certain topic on next week's episode. But for right now, we got to start wrapping it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I think that'll do it, right, Mike?
Yeah, that does it.
All right. Well, that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.